everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Elena Alsru, and this is my dear friend, Michelle Spadafora. Say hi, Michelle.
Hello, everybody.
I am so excited to be able to have her on my channel. I met Michelle a couple years ago at a New Life conference, fitness and health and faith conference that we worked together. I was a counselor and she was a speaker, and I just thought she was super cool, and I tried to become her friend and have just...
And it worked.
And it worked, I think, I hope. And I've just like fallen in love with her, fallen in love with her family, her home. We're out here in Colorado, Evergreen, Colorado. It's gorgeous. The sun is shining and we got to go on a hike with her dogs, and she was gracious enough to sit down with me and let me do a quick little interview with her. As you know, this is my second interview, so lots of grace for the journey. Okay, so Michelle, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Sure. As she mentioned, my name is Michelle Spadafora, and I am first and foremost a loved daughter of God, and that's really one of the biggest things that defines who I am. And then also I run a ministry called Faithful Workouts, and I started that in 2009 and absolutely love what I get to do.
That's awesome.
Married to Jeff, and we have 3 kids, 25, 26, and 23, and I love my dogs, and I love to hike, and yeah, I love to cook, all that
travel.
Love to travel. Yes, that's a good thing I love to do, so yeah.
Awesome. Okay, Michelle, so thank you for sharing a little bit about yourself. Whenever I'm around her, I feel so much love. And in her cooking, in her workouts, in her family, and getting to go out and hike, even if they're really hard hikes in the snow.
It's still out of love.
It's still out of love.
I know it.
She's also really been an amazing mentor to me. So I'm grateful to have you here.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
The first question I wanted to ask you is, so you help so many people, so many women with their faith, their fitness, and their mental health. How has this helped you? How has your faith, your love for fitness, your like healthy eating, you're such a healthy cook, how have these things impacted your emotional health? Because as you know, I'm a counselor and I'm talking to people about this all day long, and I'm just curious, what brought you to this place?
Yeah, I mean, it has definitely had just a huge impact on my life. I mean, I can't think of really anything that's had more of an impact on my life and on my mental health. You know, I'm not telling you anything like shocking here, because you all know exercise can definitely be like a mood changer.
Absolutely.
And for me, when I exercise, I love to like turn up the Christian music, really fun, upbeat songs, but with great lyrics. And as you're moving, your brain becomes more alive. It's like a sponge. It's absorbing things in. And so I'm hearing these lyrics of these uplifting songs that I'll be kind of singing throughout the day. So just the movement of what science shows about it has made an impact on my mental health, like it does for everyone, really. And then as far as cooking goes, you know, some people and like what they're eating, it becomes a point of stress in their life, because they're trying to follow these really strict diets. They have a lot of shame and guilt associated with it. And I kind of live by an 80-20 rule. 80% of the time, that's what we keep saying. We have so much in common. 80% of the time, I eat really healthy. 20% of the time, I eat kind of healthy. Like, I'm never going to go and eat a sleeve of Oreos. I have no desire to do that. But if I have a burger and fries or a piece of pizza, a glass of wine, no shame, no guilt. And I think that's what is then freeing and helps the mental health. It's not making me feel bad. The food is giving vitamins and nutrients to my body. It's feeding my brain. And I think the biggest thing I find is that my stress levels are also a lot lower. Yes, exercise helps it, and eating healthy can help it, but mainly it's my faith in God. I mean, it has changed so much in my life, and you know, I didn't become a believer, no, really anything about Jesus till I was 40. So I know what it was like to live over here. I know what it's like to live here, and that's had just big impact.
She invited me to talk about brain health at one of her workshops earlier in the year, and that was a lot of fun. One of the things that we talked a lot about was why does exercise really help your brain? We talked a lot about blood flow and how when you start moving, you know, more oxygen gets to your brain, and it really does improve your mental health. And then the music, that's something that we share in common. Like, whenever I'm working out or training, I've always got something encouraging on. You know, the world is full of so much discouragement and so much just negativity, and it's super toxic, right? It just makes you sick. So every second I have to be able to hear something that's uplifting, that's positive, that's a good message, that
Yeah.
makes me feel like I have a hope for my future and those around me. It makes me want to actually encourage other people.
Yeah.
That's something we have in common, and that's
Yeah.
huge for your mental health.
Yeah.
And then your faith, like one question I had was, if you were to kind of sum it up in like a simple word, a couple words or phrases, before you came to the Lord and then after you came to the Lord, what's the biggest difference? You mentioned shame.
Yeah, don't have that. I finally, and that wasn't an instantaneous thing. It wasn't
Okay.
like I came to know Jesus and instantly my shame from my past was all gone.
Right.
It was a process for me, but it was a very freeing process. And I can even picture the moment I was really set free. I used to live a very different style of life for many years. And so that's a big thing, is to just walk in this feeling of like, I'm loved by God and I love me. Like,
I love that about you.
I do love me, you know?
Right.
And I think that's been really helpful. So that's one of the things. The other thing is that my life has purpose. Like every day, everything can have more meaning and more purpose, because I'm trying the best I can to live with Jesus at the center of all I do. So if I go to get my hair done, I can be like, God, does she need some love today? What does this person need to hear? Or you're in the grocery store and you're just kind of walking out your day with an open heart to kind of see who needs some love and who can I encourage today. And so that, I think, are two of the biggest things that have really impacted me. Like I said, it's a process for me. It's been about almost 20 years now since I came to know Jesus, and life is a lot better. I walk around also in a place of trust. Like even when I don't understand what God's doing in the moment, I can just go, "That's okay. He's God. I'm not. He knows a tiny bit more than I do." So
Just a little bit.
Yeah, I'm going to trust that He's at work right here.
I love that about you, because even the other day we were at the grocery store and there was a gentleman there that she obviously knew, and he was just listing off the complaints and the hard, he lost a lot of people in his life. It's a legitimate, things that he was really sharing, and some medical issues, and many people would have like rushed out, and had stuff to do and had to go on their, daily to-do list and not be late, and you even had people waiting on you, but she just listened and encouraged him. And I just feel like you're right. It's about
The
living
moment.
things out in your daily life. And it sounds to me like maybe there's more of like a self-focus of your
so
life.
badly. I mean, life was all about me. Even when I had my 3 kids, because I still didn't know Jesus when I first had my kids, they were about me. Like making them look cute made me look good. I mean, it was
Right.
like everything was about, you're here to help me to have more fun. I mean, it sounds, people on the outside would say, you seem nice. I'm like, yeah, but my interior was not really a very outward focused person.
Wow. And the other thing I've realized about Michelle is just her radical generosity to anyone she's around. She just wants to give. And I do feel like that's such a genuine overflow of the light that you have inside of you. So going from just more of a self-focused mindset to a generous, loving, from shame to just, I love me and I'm going to take care of myself. We live in a age where it's all about self-care and self-love, and it can make us kind of really turn inward. And a lot of people I know who are doing that are depressed or anxious or still struggle with a lot of hard things. So it's about, how do you balance that, and how do you do that well? How do you love yourself in a healthy way? And she's a good model for that.
I think it's, when you love yourself, you want to care for your body. So I don't exercise because I hate what I look like. I exercise because I love what my body can do, and I want to help that. I don't diet because I have to lose weight so others will love me. I feed my body healthy nutrition because I love my body and I want to be able to be used by God until the day He takes me home. So it's a different mindset.
I love that. And that kind of leads us into the next thing we're going to talk about. Is there's a lot of challenges that come up for especially women who are trying to get healthy. We get so many messages that are just so untrue.
Yeah.
We hear we got to look good, we got to be thin, you got to present perfectly. And there's just so many lies and so many diets and so many people out there, and there's a lot of noise. And what I'm trying to do is try to simplify things. And I'm just excited that Michelle has a very similar mindset of how to eat balanced, how to work out for the right reasons, to enjoy your life and enjoy what you've been given, and steward, I love that word, take care of your body well, so that then you can go and help people and live the life that live a purposeful life full of joy. So what are some challenges people face?
Yeah, I'm very grateful that I get to interact with literally thousands and thousands of women.
Yeah.
I've been in fitness since 1984, so I've been doing this for a long time.
1 year before I was born.
Yeah, yep, that shows how old I am. But I hear all sorts of issues, and there's a lot of things that I consistently hear.
Okay.
And one of them is, too often we let the past mistakes define our future attempts.
Okay.
And Michelle, I've tried in the past and I've never been able to do it. So they don't have that belief that they're going to be able to do it, that this time it's going to be different. And I think without hope, we don't flourish, we don't change. And we have to have this hope that, no, why shouldn't I be able to? I can do this.
You can do this.
And when I say do this, I don't mean exercise an hour a day, 7 days a week. It doesn't mean never eat this or only eat this. When I say to do this, it means start taking a step towards better health. Like baby steps. There's a funny movie called What About Bob? And he talks about baby steps.
One at a time.
It is, but that's, don't try to change everything. What's one thing you can do today?
Yeah.
And that's what I try to tell people. It's like, you don't have to change everything, but what can you start on today that you'll feel good about tomorrow that you did? And then let's add to it. And so I think that's the first common mistake I hear is like, I've failed before. That whole you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I'm like, yes you can. I got some old dogs around here. I can.
Absolutely.
So you can teach them new tricks. That's one mistake that I think another thing is that they go into it, and when they fail, so they skip a workout or they eat a piece of cake that they didn't want to eat, they consider it a failure. And they don't understand, it's just part of our process. Like, there's one of my favorite quotes. It says, failure is not the falling down, it's the staying down. So when you make a mistake one day, you go, oh well, nothing's going to change what's in that past. You just go, oh well, okay, why do I think I did that? All right, well maybe let's try to
You're learning from it.
Yeah.
It's failure is not failure, it's learning.
Yeah.
We're getting more information about, hey, why didn't this work?
Yeah, so I think that's a big one too. Of course, a lot of people will come up to me and they'll say, well, I don't have time to make healthy food. I don't have time to exercise. I can't afford it. And in reality, it's just an excuse. It's you don't value it because you have to make your health a priority. Like, I make appointments to exercise with myself. And I don't change those. They're in my calendar. I know what I'm going to do.
Non-negotiable.
Yeah, it's non-negotiable. And so I think that's another one is to say, okay, let me be real with myself. And I'm just saying, be real with yourself. Is it really that you don't have time? Because I know you've got 24 hours, just like I do. Right. Nobody else has it.
Nobody's making more time.
Yeah, and you can fit in nuggets of exercise time, or you prep for meals so that you have it so it's nice and quick moving forward. But just trying to realize, hey, what would my life be like in 5 years from now or 10 years from now if I don't have good health?
Yeah.
What will that look like? Okay, what if I do? Now I've got this vision of what it would look like if I do. I can see the pain point if I don't.
Yeah.
Okay,
is that enough motivation to get you there? Yeah, your why factor.
Yeah, because wanting to be skinny so others will think you look good is not going to sustain you through challenges and things.
No, we all grow old, so it's kind of like you're just. Well, you look beautiful.
We do. If you have it in your mind that exercise is all about trying to look good, your body is going to look different. Your skin's going to sag. You're going to look different, and that's okay. And to be accepting of that, and just love your body with the wrinkles and with the extra skin and all that kind of stuff, and that will make a difference. And for me, so I'll be 60 in a couple months. I do feel as good as I did in my 20s.
That's awesome.
I really do.
That's such good news.
It is. And so if you're 60 and you're not feeling like you did in your 20s, that's okay. But you know what? Tomorrow you can feel a little better. And I think sometimes it's like, well, you've done this your whole life. Well, I have. That's been something I've done. But you know what? If you haven't, today's the perfect day to start.
Absolutely. Sun comes up brand new every single day. I love that. His mercies are new every morning. You get a new chance really to start something brand new. So any other challenges that you can think of? We talked a little bit about all or nothing mindset. In my world, that's what we call if I can't do all of it right now, I don't want to do it at all. And I'm definitely guilty of that. And you kind of just start to get paralyzed in thinking you have to do everything, but it's like small chunks. And also learning that this is a skill that you build over time.
Yep.
And it's a discipline. And it's part of loving yourself because you're taking control to take care of yourself well. And a lot of what you shared, the challenges sound very much in your mind.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of it. We just did a big series called Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Health.
That's wonderful.
Because all of the things that need to really start to allow you to change in your mind, and you have to kind of just be aware of the lies that you've heard, that you've even been telling yourself.
Absolutely.
And then for me, what I do when I hear the lies, I say, what's the truth of what God says in this moment? If the lie that I'm hearing is, you'll never do this, you failed in the past, what I can go to is, nothing's impossible with God. I can go to a scripture verse and say, well, that's a lie, because the truth is, if I'm asking God for help and I'm lining up with His will and my motives are in the right place, He's right there with me. I can overcome this. This temptation is too big. I can't overcome this temptation. It's always got me. I can go to truth of Scripture, which says no temptation is too big. God will show you a way out. And so it's super helpful when the lies come in to go to what I believe is truth. And it just helps.
Absolutely. And changing your thoughts is so important and so mainstream right now. And even I was listening to Dr. Caroline Leaf, who's a Christian neuroscientist, and she was just saying, the brain is neuroplastic. And that means that we have new cells in our brain developing every single day. And it's impacted by the way we talk to ourselves, how we think about things, and we're molding how we view things and how we see ourselves and life and what we begin to believe is possible. And so it's like moving towards this possibilities and mindset of something. I don't have to be who I was before. I can be somebody brand new, and just beginning to work on, discounting the lies that maybe we believed before. So just starting with finding out what those are.
Yeah, really being aware of them. And I was just thinking of one other challenge that I hear all the time is sugar. That's why so this is a big one, guys. If you are a sugar person, which this is a huge challenge, I just want to say, look for options other than the added sugars and the desserts and everything like that.
Totally agree.
We love a dried apricot or a dried date with some peanut butter and some shaved coconut on it.
Absolutely.
Or maybe you take a strawberry and you dip just one half of it in a little bit of dark chocolate and you put it in the fridge for later.
Yeah.
There's ways but I would really encourage you, that's the one piece that I think would make such a difference in our health, is if we could, just realize that sugar has a grip on us, and start taking steps to get off it, to try to keep it to 24 grams or less. That's 6 teaspoons of sugar. So I'm not saying no sugar, but kind of maxing out right there. And you have to start here to say, I don't need sugar. This isn't my place of comfort anymore. I can go to this. For me, again, I can go into God's loving arms when I'm feeling down. I don't need to turn to sugar. And so I would say that's one thing, when it comes to nutrition, that's a big one.
That's a huge one, absolutely. And it's really hard to come up with substitutions for things sometimes if you don't naturally know how to do that. And she's got, at the end, I'll share with you how to get on her website. She's got tons of incredible recipes. They're all incredible, but her desserts are really good as well. So you can check that out there.
That's all free. Everything, we have workouts, everything's free. So go check it out.
That's incredible. Part of your generosity. So Michelle, one thing that actually just popped in my mind that I meant to ask you a little earlier was your community. In my world, we always talk about join a support group, make sure you have good friends. I'm always asking people, who are the people who are for you in your life, who aren't going to just, destroy your process of growth and of healing. Tell me a little bit about your community.
Boy, I am so fortunate. One, I have a very supportive husband, and I know for a lot of people that's not their story. And I'm fortunate with that. He's in ministry, he loves Jesus, and he's great at encouraging me. So that's one
awesome.
point. Also, I have a friend circle that we work out together, and that's our social time. And I think that's different. A lot of women will get together and go have wine. Not that we don't do that too, but
that's cool.
We do walks, we go on hikes, we work out together, we do things like that, and we're for each other. We really are.
Yeah.
It's so wonderful. It's not this competition of who can lift more weight or who can look better.
Right.
It's like, look at you just did that yesterday, or a couple months ago you couldn't do that. And so it's
encouraging, positive.
Very encouraging.
That's so good.
And what I would say, if you right now are like, well, that's great, I don't have that.
Right.
pray. I mean, if you're a person of faith, pray and ask God to start to bring people into your life. Maybe join a local church if you're not at one. Maybe there's a women's group you could get involved with, or a group of people that are getting together.
Right.
And you can start to. It's something that maybe you have to step out of your comfort zone. A lot of the women that I know, it's because I went up to them and went like, hey, I saw you in my class, or I saw you at the store, and do you want to go have coffee?
Just open invitation.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so I think that is a big part of it. So those days that I'm wondering, like, God, can I do this today or whatever? I know I can call my husband or my friends or my mom and just be encouraged. And
Good.
so
That's
I
awesome.
hope you can find some people like that, because it does make a difference. But just know, like, my biggest encourager is God, and He lives in me. And so I have community everywhere I go because of Him, and I can choose to listen to His voice over the noise of the world, and I can choose to hear Him say, you're my daughter, you got this, you're a
That's awesome.
masterpiece, you're beautiful, And
that.
so we are never alone. That's a big thing. But finding those people to kind of hang with is good too.
No, I totally agree. Good friends, good community has been massive in my life. And, there's so many times where you want to quit, or if there's a challenge that comes up in your life, whether it's a diagnosis or a loss in the family or a car accident, just anything that comes up, you hold each other up. Not only during your workouts, but in your life. And you're just trying to help each other become better and more whole.
Yeah.
So, if you had one word of hope to people to help them, whether they're facing a challenge, or to help with their emotional health, or just to help them overcome some part of their fitness, faith, or just food journey, what would that be?
This might seem strange, but I would say it's be open. Be
Okay.
open to what, if you don't have faith, what God might want to say to your heart. Be open to the fact that there might be a new way to go about this that you've not tried before that will work. Be open to meeting new people, even if they initially don't seem like someone you'd be naturally friends with. Like, just be open to what could happen, and be excited about what could happen. I think that's just important, to never feel like the door's closed. Yeah.
I feel like that could have happened in our relationship because, we do two totally different styles of workout. I do strongman and like lifting, powerlifting, like I do some running, but I don't like love it. But we both love to hike. But when I met her, she's like dancing on the studio with the band, and I'm like, what? And I could have been like, oh, I'm not doing that. But because so many people in the fitness world are like, oh, I don't do that kind of workout.
Yeah.
What is that? Like any movement's good movement. I don't care what you're doing. So just do it, you know? But I was like, all right, I'm going to try this. And I'm terrible at it.
No, you're not.
I'm getting better, but, some of the moves I'm going to have to work on and behind closed doors. But, no, it was just a lot of fun. And it just could have been a barrier, but like, why? Why would you make that a barrier? So go try a class, go meet somebody new, go do something you would never do before. Like 1 year of my life, I just been doing yoga and learning that. And I loved it. And now it's a part of my workout routine. So just being open, what a wonderful thing to say.
You just don't,
be willing.
you can't believe what could be coming for you.
Yeah.
And you have to believe that and be open to it. And
I
I look at each day as like, wow.
Gift.
Yeah. I have another day. I had a dog named Mojo. She and I are both dog lovers. I had this huge dog named Mojo, and every morning we would wake up and he'd be sleeping on the floor in my bedroom. He'd look up at me and his tail would wag, and I'd look at him and I'd say, we get another day.
I love that.
And to start off your day that way, like, I get another day. And maybe it's not going to be full of like joy. There might be challenges, but I get another day, God. What can we do with this?
That's so encouraging. Oh, I love having you here. Tell us how to find you. How can people find you?
You can just go to faithfulworkouts.com with an S, workouts.com. And my email is michelle@faithfulworkouts.com if you ever need anything.
Wonderful. And we'll put that on the description below.
You just like love what she's doing, and I just I trust her so much that I've had somebody very close to me that I recommended her talking to, and they've had a relationship, and she's played a big role in his healing. So
thank you. And thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll see you guys again next time. Michelle Spadafora, thank you for being here. I love you.
Love you too. Thanks. Bye.